this question.
Hey there! Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Well, happy Music Monday, everybody. It is January 25th, 2020, and we are airing live from Navarre, Florida, in the Florida Panhandle. Some call it the Redneck Riviera. We call it it's warmer than a lot of the other areas we've been to, and it's beautiful. I'm just saying, some people say that. I'm not saying
that.
I'm just saying, hey, we're here. We're in Florida, and listen, camellias are blooming on our doorstep where we are. It's beautiful.
Camellias, not chameleons.
I said camellia.
One's a flower, one's a lizard.
Camellias. Okay. Anyway, welcome everybody. Keep up with our shows at BigBlendRadio.com. Today is very exciting because it is National Opposite Day, and I'm glad about this because we have Sandy-McKnight joining us, so I know he'll have fun with that. It's National Irish Coffee Day. So if you're in the colder climates, even in California and Arizona, Chicago, you're going to want some coffee. Massachusetts, you're going to want some Irish coffee. It's National Bubble Wrap Day. So bubble wrap yourself. And remember the saran wrap days, Nancy, in the 70s, 60s, 70s, when women would saran wrap themselves for their husbands when they came home? Was that 50, 60? You know what I'm talking about. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble already. Okay, I'm just saying they could bubble wrap.
Well, it's better than wax paper. Seriously.
Oh, don't bring up wax paper. And it's also National Florida Day. I don't know who made that up because it's not the statehood day of Florida, but apparently it's Florida Day. So here it is. We're in Florida. We got Music Monday. We have Sandy-McKnight back on the show. He's an amazing bass player, songwriter, producer. He was on our show last summer with his EP San-Fernando Beat that he recorded with instrumentalist producer, multi-instrumentalist, I should say, Fernando-Perdomo. We were in Colorado at the time, and he is back here on our show with his second EP with Fernando, and it is called, we got San Fernando Beat, and this one is San Fernando Blitz, and both of them rock. You're going to want them. They're like two of your favorite people that you get to listen to. It's awesome.
Cool.
Welcome back, Sandy. How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing? You're in Florida. What part of Florida are you?
Navarre.
We're in the Redneck Riviera. We're in the Panhandle.
Stop it.
You're on the Emerald
Panhandle.
Coast. On the Emerald
okay.
Coast, Navarre is it's beautiful here. And they just will say that. I'm not saying it's the
You can't
redneck.
say that. Property values go down when you do that.
We used to live here when we first got back from South Africa and moved to this country. We lived here.
Is it near? Is it near Pensacola?
About an hour.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, an hour east of Pensacola.
Because I'm heading down there. I'm heading down to Florida in a few weeks, but it'll be down by Fort Myers.
Warmer climate. So
That's
you're in
too far for us.
You're in Massachusetts, right?
I am.
Wow.
I'm in a town called Lee, L-E-E.
Cool.
It's a
small
town.
Lee? I shouldn't say that, should I?
I think it was named after Pinky Lee. I don't know if you remember Pinky Lee, but
I'm Pinky Lee. I'm Pinky.
Hey, listen.
Or maybe it was Brenda Lee. I don't know for sure. But
Pinky Lee. Listen. I want everyone to know. Sandy-McKnight has got a memoir out called Kid 69. You got to check it out too. You got to get that, because it. But that's the thing. We can't leave the 60s and the 70s. Come on. I think that's what's beautiful about the music you're making with Fernando is that it's just so good. It just feels good to listen to, and it brings back that era. But it's just, as soon as I heard it, I'm like, you guys have more sticky songs. We're gonna play "Living on the West Side." sticky.
Oh, good.
Sticky.
That's pretty sticky, that one, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys
You have
are
to be
writing...
careful how you say that, though, because it could sound like stinky.
Yeah.
So sticky, just be
You
careful
mean I
how
shouldn't
you
be
say
drinking wine when
Okay,
I say it?
can I just say that Pinky Lee's real name was Pinkus Leff.
Wow.
Okay.
That is worth tuning in for. That's just that fact alone.
Sure.
So listen,
I hope
it's National
your
Opposite
listeners
Day.
are appreciative of that.
And he was like a host of a kids show. I think that's funny.
Well, Pinky Lee, if I'm not mistaken, was a singer.
He's a comic.
Oh,
and he's a burlesque comic and a host of a children's TV show. The
A
Pinky
burlesque
Lee show.
comic and a children's show
But
at the same
he's
time?
a burlesque comic host of a children's show. Go figure that out. There's videos of him.
Okay. I'll go with you.
He's Pee Wee Herman's grandfather.
No. Really? Really? Are you serious? That's Pee Wee Herman's grandfather? Because my first thing was like Pee Wee Herman and like how that was weird.
Yeah. Weird.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
I'm a little confused now, but
I'm way confused.
Okay, well, you guys, we're going to play some music. So I want to talk about the album, the second album. But I think everyone needs to have some music. It's Music Monday, so let's play it. Living on the West Side, and I want to talk about 22 records because that's something you just started, right? That this is all through this.
I'm very busy. I'm multifaceted.
Cool.
Well, you are. I know that.
How many facets do you have?
And listen, I do want to know about National Opposite Day. If you have anything to say about that, because I know you're quirky that way. You got a good sense of humor. I like it.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. I try to have fun when I'm on Facebook. People who might want to friend me on Facebook.
Cool.
And then I can make them laugh too.
I know. Everybody, you can get friendly with Sandy on Facebook.
Yes.
Seriously.
And
All
of
right,
course,
here it is. Go ahead.
I have several different pages on Facebook. One for 22 records and one for the work that I've been doing with Fernando. And
cool.
there's a bunch of stuff going on. And in the book also, Kid 69, I have. I don't know if you knew this, but there's an audio version of it that just got released this past summer, and it's me.
Oh, you did the audio. You narrated your own book, it makes sense. I mean, you got a voice, you know.
And I think you would enjoy it.
I want to hear it. I
Just
like that.
you, not your listeners, but you might enjoy it.
What do you mean our listeners wouldn't enjoy it? Our listeners are full
you guys
people.
are cutting out on me here. Let me make sure. There we go.
Okay,
you're back.
You can hear. Okay, we're back. Okay, good. No, our listeners are cool people. They know good stuff, and you've got good music. You've got a memoir, and I want to hear it. And I think our listeners. So, can you get it on Audible, or how do people get it?
The best way to purchase any of my things is on. Some things are on Amazon, but I also have a site, a page on a site called Bandcamp, BANDCAMP .com, and my stuff's all there. And a number of other places. One can Google me.
Everyone, I just want to say about Bandcamp for musicians, and I want to dig into this too a little bit more as what we do as radio people, or podcast, whatever, magazine, whatever the heck we are, multimedia.
Yes.
Bandcamp, from what I am understanding, is that the musicians actually do get a better cut of the pay for their work than other outlets. So if you have a choice to buy a musician's album through all these different places, this would be the place. If you want to support the musician, that you get it there. Is that right? Should I say that? Is that a no-no, Sandy? I don't know. You tell me. You're a musician.
Yep. I actually just got started on Bandcamp recently, and it is a good place for people who want to support local music or indie music. And I actually put the book up there as well, so it's not just
you were
music.
Able to put a book up there too? That's super cool. I didn't know
you could actually buy Kid 69 as in book form, or the audiobook is also available for download on that site.
Awesome. All right,
yeah.
So I want to let's talk about this new. Okay, before we play this, I do want to talk about National Opposite Day because for some reason I know that you'll have something quirky to say about this. Who knows? National Bubble Wrap Day. I mean, who creates these days? But apparently we can have Irish coffee today. And I'll have it whenever I want it. But anyway, go ahead.
Bubble wrap is fun to step on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I heard you talking about women wrapping themselves in aluminum foil. No, not aluminum foil. In
Saran wrap.
Saran wrap, right. But I often, when I want to reflect, I wrap myself in aluminum foil. That seems to work pretty well. Go out in the sun.
Then. You're going to beam up. You're going to end up with William Shatner up there somewhere. If you do that. And if you have fillings in your teeth, they're going to stick to it. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. It is.
Luckily, I have perfect teeth.
Oh, how did you do that? Do you floss?
I lied.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go now.
Like, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So also, okay, I want to give everyone a backflip of your relationship with Fernando. Nancy just keeps wanting. Every time I say Fernando, she hears the drums, in the distance. And, sorry, Fernando. But listen, the ABBA was a badass band. Listen, I don't want to take. Seriously, what ABBA did, and how they took it from a studio to being on stage, and I think we even talked about this the last time you were on the show. It was amazing. So, I don't want anybody bashing ABBA. Don't. Part of my childhood. It was cool. But you and Fernando did this it's a 2-day, you even said on the last show with us last year while we were in Colorado, and you're all, okay, we did 2 days of recording. Now you have 2 EPs. Was it like day 1, day 2? Because you were in L.A. at the time, right? In Reseda?
Well, this time around we did it a little differently because I couldn't go out there, and so we did it remotely. He would record his parts and then send them to me, and I would do my parts. So that worked fine.
Oh, wow. So you guys did the distance thing. And everyone, Fernando is amazing. Sandy, I mean, both of you're veterans of the music scene in regards to working with people. You, as a songwriter too, have so much out there in the world, and TV, film as well, right? That's something people should know. And Fernando,
I've done it all.
You have, and Fernando has too. I mean, Fernando, Echoes in the Canyon with Jacob Dylan. Man, Jacob Dylan, I just want to steal his eyes. He's like an amazing eyes. I love his eyes. I always loved his eyes.
What you groupie?
Well, no, I have a little groupie of Jacob Dylan. When this is the first place when we got here, right where we are right now in the Florida Panhandle as a kid, 19 years old, out of South Africa. His album Wallflowers came out with one headlight and all that. And I was like, dude, I was a Dylan person. Rodriguez, before America discovered Rodriguez. People took too long.
That's right, South Africa.
Right? South Africa, Rodriguez, that was our Bob Dylan. And it got here and that came out, and I was like, that's a cool album, man. And it's kind of weird coming back here to the Panhandle. And that's something to ask you. I mean, because everything that's going on, COVID, and musicians having to work with each other digitally, there's like it's kind of weird. When you come back to a place like where we are now, we're right back with our friend that we knew from over 24 years ago. We figured out 24 years ago when we first got to this country. We all worked together teaching people how to play musical organs. I say musical organs, so we know that it's the you know what I mean. And it's very odd because at that time, Alanis Morissette came out with "You Ought to Know" and all of that. Like this whole Jacob Dylan came out. It was a different music scene coming here from South Africa. And when you go to a place, you have this sense of memory. And the first thing to me is, what did I play? I played a lot of Creedence Clearwater out here. I don't know, just kind of fits. And you go in the bayous and everything, Born in the Bayou, all whatever. But and a lot of, I know Allman Brothers and all these. I mean, all of this music is out here. Lucky Peterson, James Peterson on the blues circuit, all of that. But there's a musical memory you have of a place, and that's the first thing that hits me is the nature and the music memory. Do you have that as a musician when you go to places, having been around and recorded, and do you have that thing?
Not at all. No, I do. I don't want to kill the interview here, but
no, that's fine.
No, it's a different thing when you're in L.A. You're vibing a different way with people, and when we did the first record together, we were in the same room, so that was a different experience. Being here in the Berkshires of Massachusetts, it's much quieter and much more serene. But I still draw off of Fernando's energy that he has in his surroundings, and then I also do part of the records in the New York area, so I'm also drawing from the energy there. Of course, it wasn't a good summer for New York, but it was a good time for me to get immersed in the project because there wasn't any distraction. It was nowhere to go, and you had to stay home, and so I made a lot of I did a lot of things that I wouldn't maybe have tried to tackle if in normal times. So you got to hunker down a little bit and just say, well, here's a chance to write that whatever. I actually wrote a musical last summer.
Oh, cool.
And you can't perform it anywhere at this point, but eventually things will normalize and we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It's interesting about this time, this whole pandemic. I was like, the creative arts will come back in this force, and they've also kept us going with live streams and new music and creativity. And I always say, like, also for business, small business, you've got to be creative to survive, even as human, just generally in human beings.
Sure.
Be creative in how you make yourself feel good, and music is
you could write a musical called Pandamit.
Now you're talking like you got to follow
I don't think
Sandy on
people
Facebook
would go
here.
to that,
I would.
You would, okay.
Yeah, Pandamit.
We'll have to have the audience wearing masks, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, well, we're all used to
go
another thing. We'll be doubled. Oh.
Yeah, it's hard right now. All the performing artists are really struggling to get through this time, and
Sure.
they miss the audiences.
Yeah.
Some people are even trying to do like modifications to the venues and places where they would perform, and if you get people far enough apart, you could do it, but the problem is then you have like 10 people in the audience instead of 100,
Yeah.
But it's a tough time for everyone. I mean, I'm not going to complain after what some people are going through. At least I'm eating too much, actually, which is part
don't
of the problem.
even talk to me about it, man. When Nancy and I were talking about this like a few minutes
Yeah.
ago, like, hello, we need we're the park people, and apparently we do not look like the park people.
Speak for yourself.
Well, no, because we pet sit and carry on across the country. Because when you pet sit, you're traveling, you're quarantining. It's like quarantining. We're pandemicking across the country in a weird way, But but we're hanging out with dogs and cats and fish and whatever, birds, horses. Cool. And it's a way to keep doing things, and everybody's had to do something different. And this is where the creative arts really play a huge role, because that was my point, is like everybody has to be creative, because creativity is the way of change. And if you've got to tap all sides of your brain. And music, when you get stuck or you get pissy and pissed off and just put some good music on. And this 2 albums you guys put out, it's really true. You cannot listen.
You mean like Living on the West Side? Would that be something you would?
You guys,
that would cheer you up?
San-Fernando. Here you got the Blitz. The 2 of them should be like a double set album or whatever. To me, it's like I want the whole thing to stream through the whole thing. I want to listen to both of them back to back, because they feel good and they do have a California vibe, even though you're on the east side. But let's play Living on the West Side and then talk a little further. So here it is, everyone.
Okay, sounds good.
I want people to know what we're talking about. It feels good, damn it.
Living on the West Side, working on the East Side, looking for the upside, baby. Here I am, standing on the outside, living on the West Side. I know good things take time, trying not to take sides, baby. Why? Still trying to decide. Everybody thinks I'm all confused, not amused at all. When I say I want to change my life for you, and now I'm telling you I'm living on the West Side. I'm working on the East Side, looking for the upside, baby. Here I am, standing on the outside. Every day I take the crosstown bus. I must be nuts, it's true. Working 60 hours every week for you. That's why I'm telling you, living on the West Side. I'm working on the East Side, looking for the upside, baby. And here I am, standing on the outside, living on the West Side. I know good things take time, trying not to take sides, baby. Why are you still trying to decide? Living on the West Side, I'm looking on the East Side, living on the West
Hey everyone, you're listening to Big Blend Radio, and you just heard Living on the West Side, and this is from, it's the title track and first single from the new EP. It's called San-Fernando-Blitz, and it's by Sandy McKnight and Fernando Perdomo. And Sandy is here on the show with us. Sandy, I've been walking around saying, baby. It's just like, I mean, there's just like this whole baby. You know, I don't know if we have that anymore in this world, but you brought it to us. So it's now become the vocabulary of our daily life from that song, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Baby.
I could see a whole, like, I feel like
Oh, she's going to make
a
another
whole,
movie.
no, a comedy sitcom, a sitcom.
A sitcom.
Could,
Oh.
yes, could open with this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you know, just like you could have a whole TV series based on that song.
Wow.
Oh, and that's part
so
of
cool.
your history, right, Sandy? Is TV
Well,
and film?
you know, last time I was on your show, Nancy
You're in
said she
trouble,
was going
Nancy.
to do a video,
I am
You're
going
in trouble.
I
She
know.
will.
and so now I would hope that she would pick up the ball and do the sitcom now.
Oh, Jesus. Well, just so much going on our travels. Just do that.
No,
Just
but
do
you know,
that.
but you could see. I could almost like you could pick certain people to be in it,
Mm-hmm. Sure.
and you because it not. I could write it.
Did doing TV and film help you in doing catchy, quick songs? Like I mean, these songs are like it's very old school good. You know what I mean? And I don't mean it in a negative way of that. I mean it like it just feels good. Like that's to me. I don't care about everybody's buzzwords and everything, but if it feels good, it feels good, right? And
if it feels good, do it. That's what they used to.
That's my
I
motto.
know it gets me in trouble all the time. But do you think writing for film and TV helped you do that songwriting that way? Like be able to get right to the point of it? Because your music does, get you right there immediately.
Most of the stuff that I've had in TV and film has been stuff that I already had written and recorded.
Oh, okay.
So it works the other way around. But I think that why my music may be correct in terms of the vibe of it is because of that sort of, it cuts to the chase. You know, we don't really want to get into meanderings or, you know, showing off our wonderful musical skills. It's all about the song, you know, serve the song. And so we get right to the hook and we get right to, you know, the fun parts. And we try to, I say we because Fernando played the drums and guitars on all the songs. And I played bass, and I also, of course, am singing and wrote the songs. So it's a real collaboration. And what I try to do is to write the most memorable melodies I can write, and just let people, you know, enjoy them. On the EP, there's six different songs, and I hope I don't repeat myself too much. I try to be, you know, have 6 distinct tunes that are a little different than each other without going too far in any one direction. And that seems to be a good formula because people can't process too many different styles on the same record, you know. People like to have like.
It's true. It's true. It's like, it's about what you want to put out there in your intention, right? When you put an album out, and it's interesting.
You want to sort of have it be cohesive and, you know, stylistically cohesive, and that's a little tricky for me because I write all kinds of stuff. But when I work with Fernando, this formula seems to be the best, where we just hit those power pop chords, and you know, we try to make everything real accessible for people.
It's interesting. I know the first time you came on the show, we talked about pop and power pop, and I'm like, dude, I just don't even I'm not a pop person. Like, I don't want to hear the Spice Girls. No offense to them. It's not my thing.
Dude,
Sorry,
you
it's
can't
not
say
not
that.
my thing. It's not my thing. It's no offense to them. It's just me.
Well,
Me not liking that. There's no offense. Their stuff is good for other people. They sold millions of albums. People like them. That pop thing.
yeah.
And we talked about power pop, and I'm like, yeah, but it was like immediately, like as soon as I heard, the first album or first EP, San-Fernando-Blitz-EP, I'm like, dude, I'm already hooked. I'm like in it. I'm digging it. It feels good, and people feel good. And to me, I think music and art and whatever, books, it's got to bring out something of you. It's got to make you feel something. And you with your music and Fernando, I just feel good, and I just want to thank you about that. I feel good, because I think in this day and age, we do need to feel good, and I feel like there's this cycle going on, and I think we've probably talked about this before, but there's a cycle of energy with the world and the history of the world, and we're at that point where we're going to go back to the 60s and early 70s and the 80s. We're coming back around, babies. It's coming back.
Well,
all musical.
the one thing that people remember about that time, and of course I'm way too young to remember anything myself, but what some people, somehow I was 16 in 1969, but we won't talk about that.
No, gloss over.
But what was what people hang on to about those days, especially musically, was that it was fun. I mean, the fun thing is very important. I mean, I think people want to have a good time, and if they're stuck in the house like they are now, a little happier, upbeat type of music will, enable them to simulate that feeling, if not actually experience it.
But you have real drums and not doof music. See, this is the thing of what pop has become, is this doof music that Nancy always talks about. It's like, and I'm not anti-electronics. I'm not at all. However, this is like, it's simple, but it's not. It's complex because you can hear the melodies, and there's this. It is simple. It's easy to take in as a listener. Let's put it that way. You can hear it immediately and take it in.
I like to call it accessible. It's accessible.
Yes.
You don't have to think about it too much. If you want to, there's things there that you can analyze the lyrics, and you can think about the different chord changes and harmonics, but that's not really what it's about. It's about, like, anybody, non-musical people can enjoy it. So it's. I think there is something to what you were saying before, which is that there is a certain yearning for more simpler times, or
uncluttered.
Uncluttered is a good word. And of course, I do other kinds of music as well. And when I do those records, I'm going for a different feeling. But on this record, we're very excited that I don't know if you knew this, but San-Fernando Beat, our previous record, was named the #1 EP of the year last year.
Awesome.
By Power Pop News. Yep.
I was reading that, and Any Time of Day and Fake were like the hits. You rocked it, man. Badass.
Well, we were very proud of that, and
cool.
Anytime you're #1 on any list, that's always an honor. And Power Pop News, they listen to pretty much every Power Pop record that comes out, so that's a pretty good honor right there. And so we're hoping to equal that feat this year with our new San-Fernando Blitz.
Listen. Living on the west side is going to be a I had to watch my language there for a second.
So
It's going to be a huge hit. I think it's going to be a huge hit because it just is so. Sorry, Nancy. Go, Nancy.
Okay, I'm seeing somebody leaning out of an apartment building like 3 or 4 stories up.
Oh, here comes
and
the
they're
next
living
video.
on the west side, and they can tell by the clothing of the below walking whether they should throw popcorn on them or not. See, that's where my mind just went. Like, I'm living on the west side, and you're not from here, so I'm throwing popcorn.
Well, there you go. That's my mother, everybody.
Wow.
No, but it'd be fun.
Thing. That's
it's
fun.
Not mean. It's not going to hurt anybody.
Well, Single Flowers is
unfortunately,
still her thing of the video that she wants to make. Single Flowers.
Yeah.
I will get to it.
I love that.
I promise. We got
there
interrupted.
is already a video of living on the west side.
Oh, cool.
Oh, and it's trippy. You guys are weird on that. That's weird. I'm sorry,
it
but
a strange video?
It's weird. It's like in a good way. I like weird. To me is a good word.
Yeah.
Okay, it's funny.
At one point, my cat
YouTube.
sings a song at one point, which is
cool.
Great.
I gotta go.
You guys are all warped and doing things at different. No, everybody go to Sandy-McKnight, right, on YouTube. Is that where they get it?
Well, yeah. My YouTube page is SandAlex22, SANDALEX 22. And but you could also, of course, do a search with my names, and you'll find all of my music videos there. And then, if you want to get a sense of some of the other stuff I've done, you could go to my website, which is sandymcknight.com, or you can visit me on Facebook. I'm not that much on Instagram, and I'm not that much on Twitter, but I am there, but I don't go there as much.
I just tweeted you. Like, come on.
Hey,
some people are
private. That's our private correspondence. That's a different thing,
Hey, listen. Yeah, SandyMcKnight.com, SandyMcKnightMusic.com, Sandy McKnight on Bandcamp. Those are the places to go. And and really, here's the deal. I love what you guys are doing. You and Fernando. It's beautiful music. It's catchy. It makes us feel good. And so I think pop music is about being popular music. It's popular music that everybody can get into, where it's like, oh, I'm not into blues, or I'm not into rap, or everybody can connect on it. It's kind of like it's like comfort food in a weird way.
That's a good analogy. That's a very good analogy. In fact, I have an allergy, and that's why I'm coughing. But anyway,
that's a good one.
That was a bad joke.
Don't make me laugh.
No, I like that joke.
You like that joke? Okay.
Yeah, I do. Good. This
I'll
has
keep
a whole
it in
bunch
the
of
repertoire
analogies.
then. Yeah. But I think the difference between what is now called pop and what I like to create, which is either power pop or melodic pop, is that the formula for the new records is a little what would you call it? Monotonous.
Yes.
I find the new stuff very beat oriented as opposed to melody oriented, and because of that, a lot of records tend to sound the same.
Yeah.
So, but of course, I'm not the age of their target demographic, but I find that there's a lot of younger people who like what Fernando and I do. And, of course, Fernando is much younger than me as well.
But the cycle's coming around. That's what I was trying to say at the beginning of this conversation. The cycle, it's cyclical. And this is the new thing. I mean, it's just like you go to a thrift store and you want to go, hey, I'm going to buy this shirt. It's like all hippie cool. So, you got the steampunks and whatever. I don't know what everybody's calling everybody. I don't like all that labeling stuff. I don't want to label things pop either. I just go like, I dig that music.
Yeah, I'm losing
well, we
you
have
now.
to in marketing. I understand all of that,
I
but
don't know what's happening.
just dig it. Just like something and go with it. But we are in a cycle, and I think the late 60s and early 70s and 80s are coming back around. I really do. We're going to go back through that. But please don't make me wear a shoulder pads again.
No,
I'll never do that. I will.
Makes
I
your
don't
waist
even
look
think
smaller.
I did. I will not wear shoulder pads. I refuse. I'll be a punk before I do that because that's fine because I cut my hair a couple times and I was a punk then.
Yeah,
I will do that, and I will do that just because. Listen, punk.
So I just lost like the last 5 minutes of what you were saying.
Oh. She's talking about cutting her own hair, so you didn't miss
I'm still
much.
not hearing you.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Okay.
Should I call back? Maybe get a better connection.
Call back in. Call back in.
Okay.
I'm going to hang you up, and you call back in. Oh, we'll get him back. So let's play the second song, which is "Pay It Any Mind." Take a listen, everybody. It's good stuff. I mean, this. I hope you get both albums because they both stick together. I think they should be a back-to-back CD. But this is "Pay It Any Mind," so take a listen. The second song that we're going to play, but we can't play more because it's an EP, and so go get it. So go get it on Sandy-McKnight on Bandcamp. Man, he brought in the seagulls and the whales on that song. Everybody, that was "Pay It Any Mind," again from the EP, which is called San-Fernando-Blitz. It's the second EP out by Sandy-McKnight and Fernando-Perdomo. Amazing. Both of you guys going together. And you're there. You can hear me now, right?
Cool.
I hear you.
Cool. You're here.
And you can hear me? I'm on my cell phone now.
Okay.
Phones.
Well, we can hear you. That's good.
Very good.
So tell us, this record, the 22 records, what's going on? Is it 22 records? I just got that today. So what's going on?
Yeah, what we're doing, I actually started 22 records back in 1994. And
wow.
We kind of, we did it for a few years, put out a few records, and then we kind of lost the business change people stopped buying CDs, and so we kind of didn't shut it down, but we just weren't active with it. And then it occurred to me that we actually, I say we because my wife is also involved with 22 Records, and she is an artist as well, although she's been doing other musical things not related to pop music for the last few years, but she's planning a new record, and her name is Liv Cummins, Liv Cummins, and so she is. We're going to put out a sort of a greatest hits collection of her stuff. Is one of the things that we're going to be releasing soon. Awesome. And we also do a lot of other artists that we feel are worthy, and it's going to be a fun thing. I don't know if I mentioned to you that I got a chance to work with John Davidson. Now, Nancy, you remember John Davidson, right?
I know, absolutely. Wow.
Right. He was a major star in the 70s and 80s on TV, and he had several series that he did. And so he writes his own songs, but he heard one of my songs he wanted to record and got in touch with me, and we made it happen. I produced the record.
Awesome.
And so that's also on YouTube, a video that...
I looked him up. He is.
Yeah.
I know him. He's cute.
He is cute.
Well,
he's still cute. He's 78.
I know he's older for me, but I mean, he's cute. He is. He's cool. Sorry. He has a Christmas album too. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, he's well known for his Christmas music. But so that was kind of a fun experience. And then I just did a record with a guy named Drew Jacobs, and Drew does comedy music. So he's sort of like the Weird Al of Albany.
I want that.
The Weird Al. Anyway, so he is he did a song. He wrote a song called "In the Year 2020," which was a parody of the song that was a big hit back in what year, folks? 1969. Back to that again. And that was called "In the Year 2525" by Zager and Evans, and that was a number one record for like 9 weeks or something. It was a huge hit. Anyway, he had the idea of doing a parody of that song, and I came into the project and helped him sort of write some of the ideas, and then I produced it for him. And that is also on YouTube, "In the Year 2020" by Drew Jacobs.
Awesome. He's a country artist. He's also done since we're in the Redneck Riviera, he is a Redneck rock star. He wrote and performed Redneck rock star. I'm just saying. No, come on, everybody knows Riviera. That's the truth.
The John Davidson record has a little bit of a country flavor to it. I wouldn't say it's pure country, but it's definitely country pop,
That's cool. I'm looking forward to what you guys are doing. It's so cool. I just feel it's just real. It's just real. What you're doing is just real stuff, and I think we are all hungering for that. You know what I mean? We're hungry. We want real stuff, not overproduced crap. That's out there. It's so much of it is out there, and it's just, like annoying. Sorry, I'm just saying. But even just going back to your album, San-Fernando-Blitz with you and Fernando. I mean, you just feel good. Listen to it. Just feel good. You're gonna feel good. Can't you just make it like a double CD because it's so good? Like people should have both parts. Fernando Beat and San Fernando Blitz.
I will reveal this for the first time anywhere. Later in the year, I'm going to put together a package with both EPs,
Cool.
and possibly 2 or 3 new tracks, and that will be the album. That'll be a
Awesome.
12, 15 song albums, and that will be available later in the year. But I'm not talking it up much at this point because I still want people to discover them individually, and then
Right.
and
Everyone, go check it out. Go, again, let me give everyone the websites. So you can go to Sandy-McKnight on Bandcamp.com. Just type that in. Or go to Sandy-McKnight, and it's McKnight. And Sandy is with a Y, not an I. SandyMcKnight.com, SandyMcKnightMusic.com. And so check out those websites, and you'll get everything. And you'll be able to see everything and download what you want, take a preview. That's what's cool about Bandcamp, too. You can preview the music, see what you want to buy, and they really do take care of their musicians. So I'm going to call Bandcamp. I want to do a show with them and say, like, why are you doing so good, like such good things compared to other vendors?
Well, they seem to care about the musicians, and
Awesome.
they really do make it easy to get your stuff out there. And,
That's cool.
that's another thing. 22 Records now has a page on SoundCloud, which is another good site to listen to music.
Yeah.
And so you can look up 22 Records, and
everyone,
you can
22
hear all
records,
these
like,
things.
yeah, and SoundCloud is cool. I mean, it was scary for a little bit, like way back when, like a few years ago, SoundCloud. I thought we were going to lose it, We put our podcast up there, but then they came back and they were fine. And Spotify is like there. I mean, I know our podcasts are on there and everything, but it's just like every day you have to wake up and look. It's changing every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
As consumers, I just go, can we just let's make the best choice we can when we purchase. That's my thing. It's like, can we do it through a local bookstore instead of Amazon?
That would. Yep, I agree. Yeah, it would be a good way to support the arts.
Yeah.
Just
make those choices when you can, and it's hard because everything else is so easy. It's like you've got an Amazon Prime account, so that's what we're going to do for 10 years. But that's this hard thing. I want to see everyone being able to have a better placement independently. That's just me personally speaking out on that,
Yeah, part of the problem for the listeners is that there's so much stuff out there, and it's really hard to, you have to listen to a lot of stuff you might not enjoy to get to the stuff you really like.
Right.
So what I tell people is, it's a matter of curation. People got to come in and say, okay, this is what deserves to be heard. And, of course, there are a lot of people doing that now. So, it's very hard. But my suggestion to your listeners is just listen to my stuff. And then I guarantee that there'll be a high level of quality, and you'll feel good. And I will go visit fans personally after the pandemic.
Hey, listen.
And cheer them up.
Listen, when the pandemic is over and we can meet with you, we're coming out to see you. Seriously. We're going to get out there.
I hope so.
We want that to happen because I just know we'll giggle. We'll just sit and giggle because we're all silly.
Of course. Well,
I mean, honestly. So listen, what's the opposite of right now? Today is National Opposite Day. And I thought it was really cool about that. So you coming on the show because you understand the opposite. You do, of all people I know.
I'm the opposite of your usual guest, right?
It's just you post all kinds of opposite stuff. Like, it's cool. So Listen, up
Like
to
your
date,
other
what would be like
Yeah.
opposite? What would be a good opposite for you? Like there's salt and pepper, but who cares, right? So like
right,
it's National Opposite Day.
right.
So is that a challenge that we have to take in the opposite side? What is that? Like I don't know.
Well, how about the opposite sex?
Ooh,
Yeah, but you like them.
that's a normal.
We don't talk about these things. You know, you're not allowed to. Remember, I don't know. You're not
We're
old
Big Blend
enough to
Radio. We
remember
can talk
this,
about
but
anything.
Go ahead.
when we're back in the old days, there used to be a celebration, Vive la Différence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was the Battle of the Sexes. You remember all that?
Yeah.
And it seems to me, and I'm going into my old fogey rap now, because as young as I feel, I am Methuselah-like in some ways. You know, a lot of the differences have kind of disappeared between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a few that aren't going anywhere, but
but now we can have everything.
I mean, it's good in a way. I mean, I'm certainly glad to have a female vice president, for instance. That's
Well,
a wonderful
how do you
thing.
feel about the idea of being updated every other day?
One day we're gonna have a growth that we didn't even know we wanted.
Really, we're in the world of updates every other day, or every day, or 3 times a day.
You got to be careful what you say anymore. You know what?
You
have to use the right terminology.
Yeah.
You know.
Seriously.
I keep calling them the Washington Redskins. I can't help it. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know,
that feels painful anyway. When you say redskin, it just feels painful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a good reason. There's a good reason for all these changes. It's just that when you've lived your whole life with the world being one way, it's tricky. It's not like a bad thing.
But you know what's really
Biden coming into office took down Thomas Jefferson.
I want to say something about the Redskins. What's really stupid about it is their skin isn't red. It's so dumb. That's a dumb thing.
Well, they've always been Native Americans have always been like they're the Redskins, they're the native red people, but they're not.
And it's only a color, so I don't understand why it would be insulting. Anyway,
people have a problem with color, Nancy, in this country and the world.
But you can't get along without color. That's what makes the world turn.
Sure.
It's a beautiful thing. Colors are awesome. Why is one color bad and the other one good? That's I'm going to go say something I shouldn't say.
Well, I think people back in the old days, if I may use that term, you know, they could laugh at themselves too. It wasn't so like, you know, everybody was like, you know, uptight about certain ideas about people. And, you know, of course, there's a two-sided coin there. I mean, some things were hurtful and certain stereotypes were not good. But you had comics like Don Rickles who would say things you could never get away with today.
Yeah,
and,
for sure. You're right.
You know, I think the pendulum will be swinging a little bit back toward that direction, but people have to treat each other with respect. I think that's the bottom line.
Absolutely.
That's it. And I want to close on that because our show's ending. So that's it. We're out of time, guys. And I could talk about Don Rickles and all the, don't even start me for 10 years. Pryor, Eddie McMurphy, if I want to make him Irish too. He wouldn't like that. But anyway, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us for such an amazing
to talk
show.
To you again.
Conversation. I want to give a shout out to the National Parks Arts Foundation. Everyone go to nationalparksartsfoundation.org. If you're an artist, a musician, go check them out. Incredible residencies in national parks where you can spend a whole month creating your art in Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. I'm just saying, Sandy, go.
Awesome.
You got to go, dude.
Go, dude.
Right, Tortugas, Chaco, all those great places. So check it out. But thank you, Sandy, for joining us. We'll speak with you when the next project comes to light, right?
I will certainly keep you informed.
Thank you.
Thank you. You take care, everyone.
Okay.
Everyone, take care and keep up with Sandy at Sandy-McKnight.com. And he's on Bandcamp, and go get the album. Go get it. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Keep up with us at BigBlendRadio.com.